We all are given gifts to call our own. Special skills we need to hone. A painter paints, a singer shares his song. A truth as old as time to pass along. There's a beautiful hand-painted portrait that has hung in our family home since before I was born. It is of my father in his American Red Cross uniform during World War II. The portrait is a masterwork, precise, compelling, and full of meaning, and the story of its creation is equally powerful, equally wonderful. In 1944, my father, Lawrence, was assigned to a prisoner of war camp outside of Cherbourg, France. There, he met and befriended a captured German soldier I'll call Friedrich. Friedrich was a 23-year-old artist and painter who was German-born. When the Third Reich invaded and occupied Paris, Hitler took all of the young German expatriates who were living there at the time and put them in the German army. Poor Friedrich found himself an unwilling soldier who somehow wound up in the Cherbourg POW camp. Although an accomplished painter, inside the prison he had no access to paints, brushes, or even canvas with which to pursue his art. Recognizing Friedrich's talent, Lawrence came up with an ingenious and potentially dangerous solution to the painter's problem. He loaned the young POW his spare Red Cross captain's uniform. The two men then jumped into a Jeep and drove through the prison gates, smiling and waving at the guards, and continued on into Cherbourg. In the town, they searched out the needed art supplies before finding a small cafe and spent a leisurely afternoon cementing their friendship with a couple of bottles of wine. As evening came on, they hopped back into the Jeep and returned to the prison. To show his gratitude for a brief moment of freedom, Friedrich painted Lawrence's portrait while they sat in a camp tent all those years ago. Not long after, the war ended and the two men went their separate ways, but the portrait was a meaningful reminder of that long ago time. We all are given gifts to call our own. Special skills we need to hone. A painter paints, a singer shares his song. A truth as old as time to pass along. In 1992, at age 81, my father came across Friedrich's address in Heidelberg, Germany, and wrote him a letter. Dear friend, even though almost 50 years have passed, I'm sure that you will remember painting my portrait in Cherbourg while you were a prisoner of war. Since then, this lifelike painting has been admired by many friends and visitors to my home. I'm curious about your activities since the war. It would be nice to hear from you after these many years. A few days later, Friedrich replied, Dear friend, thank you so much for your nice letter. I was so happy to receive it because it was the first and only reaction from those times so many years ago. It was a hard time I'll never forget, but there were also moments when I could feel me treated as a friend and not a prisoner of war. One of those moments that I am thankful for is you. In all those years, I have created many pictures, and I felt it my mission to be a painter. Our hometown newspaper in Illinois ran an article about the story. The reporter wrote, "Some stories have no end. This is one of them. Written or unwritten, spoken or unspoken, the contact will outlast both men." And their story, that momentary bond of friendship and a respite from war, will end only when somebody forgets to tell the next generation where that portrait on the wall came from. Now I have 2 grandsons of my own. I want to make sure that they know all about the wonderful thing that their great-grandfather did all those years ago. We all are given gifts to call our own. Special skills we need to hone. A painter paints, a singer shares his song. A truth as old as time to pass along. A simple friendship calms the winds of war. An image on the wall will tell the tale forevermore.